Before I begin, let me state that I am basing all my assumptions and opinions on web and project-based learning that adheres to the 9 principles outlined by Jeff Meadows and Jim Henry. I should also mention that I love math. As a result, you will notice a very clear and pervasive trend in my discussions and choices of literature. The first and most important aspect of the 9 principles that struck me was the notion of content as a verb. Many articles, such as this one, outline the importance of contextualizing material, and in my opinion, nowhere is this more important than in math. Jane Perlmutter & Co. would most definitely agree. Countless newspaper and journal articles state that many students feel a large disconnect with math and see it as a daunting and insurmountable obstacle in their path to education. Successful and meaningful web and project-based learning can drastically decrease these feelings and engage students in seemingly easier, but no less relevant or meaningful, learning in math. As outlined in Principles 3 and 4, technology can be a burden. Simply utilizing technology because it is there can severely detract from effective teaching. As outlined in this article, children are bombarded with information at a rate that was unseen 20 years ago. This has led to a lack of attention. Web-based teaching can largely serve to exacerbate this problem without careful attention paid by the teacher himself. Web-based teaching could also provide many distractions for students. The abundance of social networking phenomena like Facebook or Twitter could prove too distracting for students engaged in online learning. Issues like this must be addressed or front-loaded before beginning a course online. This is not to say, however, that these resources must be ignored or not utilized in the classroom. Facebook and Twitter can provide many teaching opportunities about current social events or in comm lessons on social awareness and web safety. Websites like Flickr and SlideShare can be utilized in many other subject areas like math or science through introductions of various pictures and presentations relevant to the lessons at hand. But be careful. As said in the 9 principles, use this technology as a vehicle, not the destination. The 6th principle regarding multiple areas of expertise is particularly relevant, at least to me. In PS1 we had a demonstration involving the Royal Tyrrell Museum's long-distance lessons. First off, how cool is it that you can take students from cities not near Drumheller and show them the Tyrrell Museum? It's really cool. Our interaction with this program was two-sided. We got to engage in part of a lesson that students would see, but we were also shown the inner workings of the program and how it progresses from initial contact to the lesson itself. The team involved in delivering and setting up these lessons included some very specialized people, all well suited for their various jobs. The front man, I forget his name, was a great teacher. He was young, enthusiastic, and he was sporting a pretty cool mohawk. How often would you see that in a typical classroom? You wouldn't. They also had a technician who was monitoring network performance and would have obviously jumped in had anything gone wrong. There were also admin staff who engaged in the registration, billing, and initial planning with the teacher before the lesson actually began. Needless to say, engaging in all these tasks would be very difficult for just one person. Many programs these days involve team teaching. Social context class in PS2 brought up many relevant issues, one of which was support for teachers by other teachers. Web-based and project learning can only thrive when this support is present. Principle 8 discusses how to assess the validity and usability of online resources. Much like this article points out, tasks must be meaningful and worthwhile. Meaningful assessment in web and project-based learning is key. Not just meaningful assessment of students, but of teacher performance and course success. Constant refinement and evaluation by both teacher and student is necessary for online courses to both succeed and survive. Technology is changing at such a rapid rate, without these constant refinements, updates, and improvements, courses will get lost in the shuffle. One of the last points that really stuck out in my mind from those 9 principles was the idea of exemplars. Provide exemplars for your students, people. Not only will your students love you for it, but you will probably receive projects that are much easier to mark because they're closer to what you expected. Granted, that is not always possible, especially if this is your first time teaching a course, or if the project, like this one, is open-ended. As I'm sure many of you experienced when first entering university, it was an entirely new experience. The strategies we developed in high school were no longer useful or highly outdated. Online courses are no different. These are new learning environments with their own idiosyncrasies and obstacles. Providing articles like the one Jeff provided us is key to student success. Not only does it prepare them for success, it will undoubtedly save you some major headaches down the road. The article that Jeff provided about what makes an effective online teacher struck a particular nerve with me. Online interaction is done primarily through video chat and writing. What kind of teacher says something like, "I seen your friends, they're over there, around the corner. You're going to hear them before you see them"? Granted, that was an extreme case, but simple mix-up with homonyms like that could severely mix students up. We are meant to be teaching these kids the skills and knowledge they need to succeed in life. Butchering the English language like that really won't do. Maybe we need a special designation for online teachers, a BEd-OL or something. This way we ensure that this amazing new method of teaching is successful and is utilized to its fullest potential. I guess a summary of my opinion on web and project-based teaching and learning would be this. Be careful, be proactive, be creative. Web and project-based learning is such an amazing new avenue for learning, and we are on the leading edge. Make it meaningful, make it about learning, utilize the skilled people around you, constantly tweak and tinker your content, and be extra careful with the language you use. Thanks for watching my first ever vlog. I hope you enjoyed it.